What I know, if a man says he's going to help me, any kind of female attention is going to be a valid excuse for him to not keep his word. So, I can't depend on men or women. A lot of women who offered to help, when somebody actually gives me the attention that it requires to help me, they get jealous immediately. Well, why are you going to make the suggestion if you're just going to get jealous? Stephanie Helmsteadter. How important is she? Well, she's pretty important. And I'll tell you why. This is somebody who's recorded a couple of times already on my channel, offering to help. And of course, I didn't give her name out till the last video. It's pretty important. So I'll try to work with you if you're trying to work with me. But if you're trying to make everything about you, that makes it difficult. So we're going to look at the actual messages between these people and I. We'll go all the way to the very beginning. Now, mind you, with Stephanie Helmsteadter, she started off by sending me a message in Facebook and a friend request. It says, chatting with Stephanie Helmsteadter, Boulder, Colorado, learn more. I typed it Sean Schwartz. Now this was after she'd already met. Alright. If I put it a little bit of an angle, it gets most of the glare off of there. I'm glad I learned that trick earlier today. Hopefully the quality is good enough that you can read it. Oh, that ain't right. Alright, so on this phone, since my other phone got broken, when I go to click on a YouTube link, let's click on it, come on now. This is what it does. Update your app, but it won't let me update my app because the account that's attached to it was a Google account that I didn't get to keep because I didn't have assistance. And you want to blame that on me because I don't have the ability to do those things. It must mean that I didn't try, right? Always some excuse. Now this lady, after the conversations that we had, of course, I sent her some important information, Claire Jordan's number, so they can confer with one another. She typed, hey, I hope you are enjoying your coffee. I'm really sad of what happened with you regarding Natalie. I typed, I'm still being abused over it. She typed, I want to help and I am willing to. Let's go ahead and show this so you can read it for yourselves. She typed, I want to help and I am willing to, whether it's showing up or communicating or helping financially once my tax return comes. Well, that's far later in the future. Hearing my voice and lending me yours is the best thing that you can do. By lending me yours, I don't mean talk over me. I don't mean dismiss everything I say. But I mean to speak for me, because I'm not being heard. That's difficult when I know that you're not hearing me. This lady's saying some really nice things, and she's offering some really nice things. Now, when I typed, I'm still being abused over it, and she typed that, I didn't even see that. I typed, I'm still being abused over it, and then I typed by the cops in public. And that's later on, in between. See, she sent that in between when I sent the first one and the second one, and I didn't see that. So the reply doesn't seem like it fits her message, but that's because it doesn't. It wasn't a reply to that message. I typed by the cops in public. She typed, I remember you and I know you better than this. It's fine right now so far, isn't it? She's saying a lot of really nice things, and it's a lot of nice things I want to hear. I want to believe this lady because she is saying the right things, isn't she? I want to believe she's for real. She typed, I remember you and I know you better than this. For a private attorney, sorry my phone is broken, which will hit April. I typed, everyone knows me better than this in Boulder. They just didn't want to be harmed, and public opinion is a bitch. This lady isn't trying to be harmful. Now, those things don't necessarily go together the way that she typed them, but they're all things that do go with the situation, aren't they? So although they seem out of order and out of place, and some of them in response to absolutely nothing, there's a whole situation and scenario involved there. And if she wanted to do what many people do, I start talking about the abuse that I'm enduring over Natalie Bollinger, and they want to say, oh, well, her killer was caught. You know what? Dismissive when you say it every single time that I tell you that I'm being harmed over Natalie. How about you listen to the harm that I'm enduring instead of dismissing it outright by saying her killer was caught? Yeah, I know. And I sent you evidence of people screaming at me using Natalie Bollinger's name in specific years later. So how about instead of dismissing it, hear it? Now this lady right here, obviously she's not trying to bullshit. The part where she typed, which will hit in April, she's talking about her tax returns for a private attorney. And she's saying she's sorry that her phone is broken. Well, yeah, that's not evil stuff. That's not mean-hearted. That's not horrible things that she's doing, is it? It's not. After I typed that public opinion is a bitch, she typed, I think the fact, and I don't mean any disrespect, but I think you're safer now that the real killer was caught. I typed, so I can't call, and no, I'm not safer now that the real killer was caught. Because I was never allowed to face my accusers. I was never allowed to go to my court dates. I was never allowed to show evidence, and I had no assistance. What I had is people wanting to do literally everything except what I'm required to do by the courts. The courts require you to do certain things to turn in your predators. And I've been illegally prevented from doing those things because I didn't have a single friend or family member that actually cared. You can hear hundreds of people typing and saying the same pretty shit this lady's saying. And in the beginning, meaning no disrespect by it. But they get disrespectful very quick, and we're going to hit that here soon. This is the reason we're starting with her. She's the most recent. I typed, so I can't call. Oh. I just scrolled all the way down to the bottom for some reason. Anyway, there's a lot here. A lot. So she's offering nice things. She's offering things, though. That's the problem. She's offering things in the future. What I need is you to hear me now. If you have the time to offer things, you have the time to hear me. If you have the time to give me solutions that are based off of your opinions, You have the time to hear me. If you have the time to listen to these podcasts and reach out to me and send me friend requests or watch Dateline NBC like she did, then you have the time to listen to me and my side before passing judgment. When you interrupt when I tell you literally what is going on, and you interrupt me repeatedly to say, I thought, well, yeah, that's because you didn't ask me. You didn't bother to find out. And now that I'm trying to tell you, you're going to interrupt me to tell me what you thought. Well, I understand what you thought. I already know that. Most of the stuff that you thought, it's easy to tell because hundreds of people have seen these things and then got a hold of me and told me what they thought. Well, the thing I watched said this, and you believed it? Because somebody who wasn't there wants to be contradictory, you're going to be contradictory every time that I get to that part. You're going to say that every time. Well, that's not what they said. That's not what they said. That's not what they said. Or, of course, there's the ones who have this pretty meme that's going to fix everything. And once you get to that part, they're going to chirp like a bird. The same thing every time. Those who believe that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. When you get to the part in the story where they say that, or they've decided that's the fix-all for your problem, saying a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush is going to fix your problem, right? So you say, hey, this guy John Doe hit me. And they say, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And you say, please listen to the story. Oh, no, Sean, you're not listening to me. Actually, I am, but what you're saying is irrelevant and has nothing to do with what I'm going through. And you would know that if you'd listen to what I'm going through instead of giving suggestions. And you want to tell me that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush is a suggestion. This is you giving me advice. It's not advice. That's like saying you need to love yourself. I'm coming to you and I'm pouring out to you a horrible situation that I'm going through that I need help stopping. And you're telling me I just need to love myself. Or a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Not helpful. She's assumed that I'm safe for now, that they caught her killer. I'm not. Now, repeatedly, when I got to that point in the story to try to explain that, she'd repeatedly interrupt me in the conversation to say the same exact thing over and over again like clockwork. Her killer was caught. Yes, I heard that. And you get to hear the third or fourth time that I hear it at her, that I do raise my voice. I am agitated and I am irritated because she's literally not listening to me. She's listening to respond. She's listening to find a spot where she can interrupt. See, this is a very dismissive thing that she's typing here, and she doesn't recognize that. And if I say to her that it's dismissive, she's going to get butthurt like I'm saying she's a bad person. That's frustrating for me. I typed so I can't call. She typed, I don't give a fuck about being harmed. Honestly, I don't care if I die even. Don't threaten me with a good time. I mean, this is seriously what she's telling me. And this is factual evidence you guys get to see with your own two eyes. These are the actual conversations that I'm having with these people. Lucky for me, there's a feller here with a mobile hotspot that he's letting me use. And I was able to figure it out with the help of a woman here who I met quite a while ago, who's always nice to me to the best of her abilities. Thank goodness for her tonight and for his internet access. Anyway, when she typed, don't threaten me with a good time, I replied, no, I'm not safe for now. That's what needs heard. And you see how much she got typed in there before I was able to type the reply. I mean, I typed super slow. Now here she's gonna start typing the nice things that she doesn't actually mean. She typed, "I got you. Please don't feel alone. Are you on SSI or SSDI? More importantly, how can I help?" See, she's offering to help. She's also asking some very personal questions, but these are personal questions I don't mind answering. I don't mind answering the questions at all. What I do mind is being repeatedly interrupted to hear the same thing over and over again, and I have to start over. All right, if I explain the first part, right, if I explain to you, hey, I'm being abused over Natalie Bollinger, right? And then I tell you the abuse that I'm enduring now, but you interrupt in the middle every time. When I tell you about the abuse with Natalie Bollinger and you repeatedly interrupt me before I'm able to explain to you that these people that are harming me now are citing Natalie Bollinger by name and her death as their excuses for harming me. But I don't get that far. So then when I'm explaining the part about people harming me now, because that's what you want to focus on, then you say, well, I don't understand, why are these people doing this? Well, because of Natalie Bollinger. Well, I don't understand how Natalie Bollinger has anything to do with this. That's because every time that I brought it up, you interrupted me to say things like, well, they found Natalie's killer. They found Natalie's killer. They found Natalie's killer. You didn't hear the words that were coming out of my mouth. You didn't hear me when I repeatedly told you I already know that. You didn't hear me when I had to repeatedly tell you, please stop interrupting me to literally say the same thing because it is dismissive. What you are showing me is that you don't care what I'm saying. You don't care about my experience. You care about what you heard and you care about getting your questions answered. You don't care about my story or my experience. Meanwhile, how many of these people sidestep all of my questions? I answer theirs because I'm not shady as fuck. But these people won't answer mine and won't give me a direct answer because they are shady as fuck. Now, am I referring to this lady here? No, but gonna have to here shortly as we go through this. I typed, I do have a disability income, $800 a month. So he proved that that's what was typed. So I'm answering her questions. I'm complying. I'm being honest to try to get help that she's offering. She is offering this help. She reached out to me. She offered to help me. She's offering fixes and solutions for later on down the road. Well, that doesn't get the stuff turned in now that does need to be turned in right now. And I have no one in real life who's going to help me do that. I have people who say, well, I'll go talk to somebody for you. Don't do that. It is disrespectful and demeaning.
I just looked up news for Tillamook since I've been gone, and 3 of those dead bodies were people that could have fucking vouched for me or testified for me. One of them being Preston. So I guess that solves that as of October of last year. Get out of there.
That's Claire Jordan, another victim of Tillamook. I forwarded that message to Stephanie Helmsteadter for a reason. She typed, okay, well, that's something. I typed, I wish the circumstances should be heard. The lady talking about dead bodies is Claire Jordan. She is in Estes Park now. Stephanie typed, damn. I typed, yes, ma'am. She typed, she wants to help. Yeah, I already read that. I read it the first time. I'm trying to tell you what's going on. And you type that you want to help. How many times are you going to type that you want to help? Okay, good. Well, then find out what's going on. Somebody calling himself Lil Perk 30 type time here and alive. Well, I wonder if that's one of Rich Life of Adavan's alternate accounts. One of my long-term predators here. She typed, I want to help, and this is what I said to her.
Okay, so the number one thing that a disabled autistic adult needs is advocacy. Now, a lot of people try to shove us on the government advocates, but government advocates will not do their job unless our friends or family members advocate for us first, which means they have to be informed.
That's right. I'll show you the paperwork on that in just a minute.
If you have enough charge on your phone, you could probably call me in about 10 minutes or so. I'm headed in the direction of it's a covered garage at least. It's open, but it's covered. So I have my computer over there, and I should be able to download it and at least reference some of the stuff on the computer. I just don't have internet access.
She typed, I'm literally in bed crying. And she typed that Friday at 10:09 p.m. Those are our actual messages. She typed, I'm literally in bed crying. I typed, why? See, Lil Perk 30 typed, Sean, I've been a subscriber for a few years. Haven't came on live for a bit. I'm in Canada, not a troll. Alright, well, thank you, Lil Perk 30. My name is John David Schwartz. I don't hide my name. I made 2 accounts. One of them called the Guitaria's Case, and the other one called Michelle Brannick. I'm going to type my email address here so that you guys can get a hold of me if you ever want to. A lot of these people have, they've got good intentions from the start, just not good motivation. And then once they realize that the situation isn't what they first thought it was, or what it first seemed, and they realize it's going to take actually using your voice to make a difference, where do you go? Well, Perk 30, I got a question for you. One of the people that wanted to threaten violence against me over the Bollinger family and the malicious slander is in Canada. And it wasn't just her, it was several of her friends. If I send you my email address, are you willing to share evidence of that? Are you willing to turn that into your local police? Are you willing to explain to them the abuse that I go through this day because of those people? When I said people threatened me and my family from all over the world, I wasn't kidding. Yo, that's my email address. If you send me a message, I will forward you a message from Natalie Bollinger from 2016. If you can verify that you got the email, that tells me 2 things. Number 1, you can start speaking up about that email immediately. Number 2, it tells me that you're able to see those emails and able to correspond with me. A lot of people claim that they can't get the emails. They can't see them. Alright, so Stephanie Helmsteadter typed, I'm literally in bed crying. I typed, why? I cry daily. I miss my friends. She replied, because of you, your story. Now I'm worried about your safety. Well, yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if I had an actual friend who cared about my safety at any point during this time? So many people have spoken up to me about my safety, but they never seem to find the time to speak up with me to the police. It all seems nice and fine and dandy, seems good intentioned. She also wants to give the advice, right? You say, you got to look out for number one, or you got to put yourself first. And she's typing down one of those variants of it. One of the other things you say is you just need to man up. That's if you want to be especially assholish, because I'm a man. But she doesn't. She typed, I'm worried about your safety. Put you first. Sean, please. So she's making requests of me and giving advice that is useless. It's literally the same thing as saying you just got to love yourself. You just got to look out for number one. We don't live in a world like that. I typed, yeah, I just wish my friends cared over the last 7 years. She typed, I care now. Now we're going to see that this lasted less than 24 hours from when she typed that. See that? She typed, I care now. I typed, I'm getting my computer started. Now you notice that I'm showing the overlap of the previous message, so you know I'm not skipping things. That's the same exact thing that I did with Natalie Bollinger's messages and mine. Unfortunately, YouTube scrambled it all up. And then people wanted to pretend that I scrambled it all up because I was trying to hide things. Meanwhile, there's an overlap in them. Nobody bothered to do the most simple thing they could have done. Print them out and overlap them. For those of you with computer editing skills, pull up your Photoshop or whatever fancy gizmo program you know how to use and find the ones that match up and match them up. I'm sorry, YouTube turned it into a jigsaw puzzle. That wasn't my choice or my decision. I typed, I'm getting my computer started so I have a light to see by. I'm also ready if you can call. If not, I'll try texting, but it doesn't work out as a means of communication. And you're going to get to see that later on in this. How she literally goes out of her way to play stupid in typing, and then play victim in typing and make accusations like I'm some sort of an asshole for being honest. Jesus fucking Christ, it's nuts. But it starts off, you get to see good intentions. She types, she cares now. There's also a picture of my car in here. Yep, that's my car at the bottom. I typed, yeah, this is my car. Dent free 2 years ago. They put rocks through my window bigger than my head. I typed, can I call? And when was this? Friday at 10:21 p.m. She typed, sure. Let's see that. See, she did type sure. She typed that at 10:22 p.m. only a minute later. I replied, I tried. It went to voicemail at 10:25 p.m. That's 3 minutes later, and there's a phone call that I made in between there. And at 11:07, I typed, did your phone die? She typed, it did when I was in the bath. See, it has the time. It's time and date stamped. It says that she read them, and it shows that she read them. She typed, it did when she was in the bath. Now, literally, she said I could call. Typed, sure. I called immediately, and she did not call or answer or respond. And it died when she was in the bath. She typed, hi, it did when I was in the bath. So you have a windowless car? I typed, only missing 3 windows. You see, she's changing the subject over and over and over again. She's also giving very dismissive and elusive answers if she does answer, and that is shitty. She types, sounds cold. I type, yes, it is. But you notice we're going off on her tangent. We're not addressing what is very quickly becoming an issue of her basically typing with me for I don't know what reason. Now, if you listen to the conversations with her, they're on my YouTube channel already. There's a possibility that there's something she's got going on with George that she's hoping that she'll get some sort of information from me about. Little Perk 30 typed, were you in Oregon before? I've been in Oregon since the end of 2022. Before that, no, only driving through. You typed yes, or sounds cold. I typed yes, it is. She typed, do you have a sleeping bag? Now, this is all stuff that I've got to answer all of these questions. How about shut the fuck up and stop asking these questions? All right, this isn't my first goddamn rodeo. Stop talking to me like I'm a fucking retarded 10-year-old homeless on the goddamn streets. Stop changing the subjects to basic life necessities. I'm not a retard. Yes, I have blankets. I'm not so mentally retarded that as a homeless person, I don't have any blankets. I mean, that just starts getting condescending after a while. Oh, that shows she cares. Not about what's important. Does whether or not I have a blanket stop the assaults? Does it stop the abuse? No, it doesn't. If I needed a blanket, I would ask for a blanket. If I need a sandwich, I'll ask for a sandwich. When I'm asking for you to listen and you keep on, do you need a sleeping bag? Do you need a sandwich? Do you want something to eat? Oh, I'm sorry. Does the puppy want some chow? Do you want some kibbles and bits? I mean, it really does get condescending. She typed, do you have a sleeping bag? I typed, no. But I also explained to her that I have blankets. Now, I did get to make my phone call. I also typed, I'm surprised a young white woman knows who Sam Cooke is. Here's the Lawrence Fishburne version. She typed, thank you. Or, yay, thank you, listening now. So that right there is a marker where it denotes when I got to call and talk to her. And in that conversation, I explained that I have blankets. And that people changing the subject to anything other than the abuse is not help. It's dismissive. It's disrespectful. It's neglectful. It's harmful. She typed, thank you, listening now. I typed, it's just enough off key to be human. Just enough harmonics for autistic folks to enjoy it. She typed, yes, I love it so much. I typed, can I call now or is it too late? It's because her phone kept having issues with hanging up. She typed, I take an antihistamine at night because I can never sleep. I took 2 times tonight, so I'm dozing on and off. Does tomorrow work? Do you sleep? So, yeah, we rescheduled the call for the next day because she hung up in the middle of it. Not her fault the phone died, right? While she was in the bath. So apparently she was talking to me while she was in the bathtub. But it said that she read it. Matter of fact, it said that night that she read it. But she didn't reply. And I'll show you what I mean. And of course, I did answer her questions. Now, she sent the last one at Friday at 11:32 p.m. Come on, show the time and date on there. And that's what she sent. And at 11:33, I typed, "I don't get much sleep. Violent environment." I also typed, "And tomorrow works. Do you have a specific time?" And of course, she took her meds. She did see them before she went to sleep, though. She just didn't reply. She didn't give a specific time. Of course, I was trying to explain why, because I knew that she had read it, so she was still awake. I typed, "Not having a time really fucks me over. It also denotes the situation is not taken seriously." So I'm explaining it to her before she makes the mistake, or trying to, but that's not how she takes it, and we'll show you that. I typed, "Not having a time really fucks me over. It also denotes the situation is not taken seriously. I have to waste literally years of my life waiting on people to keep their word to listen." So what I'm explaining to her is literally what I have repeatedly been through, not saying that she's a bad person. There's no hostility in this towards her whatsoever. There's no hostility at all. Now, it does have the word "fucks me over" in it. It's common vernacular at this point. This woman was on the streets. She was also married to George. She uses curse words. She can handle curse words. And obviously the context of this isn't a personal insult towards her, but you're going to get to see that's how she takes it. Anyway, I typed, "Not having a time really fucks me over. It also denotes the situation is not taken seriously. I have to waste literally years of my life waiting on people to keep their word to listen. No, I'm not safe. I'm in a volatile situation, and my life and evidence are an immediate risk." And notice it didn't even deliver it till 5:45 a.m. Before that, it just sat there saying, "Sending, sending, sending, sending." Who knows when I sent it? But it didn't send it until 5:45 a.m. Now it says that she read it. Not at 5:45 a.m., obviously, because she didn't respond at 5:45 a.m. I probably should show that it says 5:45 a.m. at the top and at the bottom. And then at 10:37 a.m. yesterday, she typed, "Hi Sean, there's a stomach bug going around. Everybody's sick, or there's an injury, or someone died. These are the most common reasons and or excuses. Life happens. I'm not hateful towards people for it happening." She typed, "Hi Sean, there's a stomach bug going around where I'm at, and I literally just got out of bed about 5 minutes ago for the first time since I texted you before falling asleep. 10:37 a.m. See? Now she read the other 2 messages, obviously. Obviously, it wasn't something where I was trying to say she was a bad person. She literally just found out about the situation. So when I'm typing things like, not having a time really fucks me over, that's me trying to head it off before we encounter a situation where I've wasted an entire day because somebody promised that they're going to do this tomorrow, or said that they'll do it tomorrow, or inferred that we'll do it tomorrow. And then they don't give a time, and I waste a whole day because with my mobility issues and with the need to record it, because so many people, well, want to reinterpret things, I have to record for my safety. I have to record because people will change the words to make it seem like they didn't know anything, or they didn't do anything wrong, that they didn't know. They don't want people passing judgment on them for certain. So obviously none of that was towards her as some personal insult. And when I typed, I have to waste literally years of my life waiting on people to keep their word to listen. Obviously, her just finding out a couple of days ago or a few days ago and reaching out to me and sending me a friend request. Obviously, I'm not referring to her. There's no way in hell, unless she thinks that I'm some schizophrenic nut job, there's no way in hell that she's going to believe I'm accusing her of being one of the people who I had to literally wait on for years, because she didn't tell me years ago that she was going to listen. She didn't know what was going on. So obviously it's not a personal insult towards her. So she typed, "Hi Sean, there's a stomach bug going around where I'm at, and I literally just got out of bed about 5 minutes ago for the first time since I texted you before falling asleep." Very run-on sentence. That's also kind of an autistic thing. It's also a stress thing. So she is stressed out. That's something I can recognize just from reading the way she's typing. She also typed, "That's how much pain I am in." Well, I tell you guys I'm in pain and you blow it off and dismiss it every time. But men are expected to address it. When you tell us you're in pain, we're supposed to give you space. We're supposed to give you an exemption or a hall pass this time. She typed, "In my stomach and my throat." So for me, I'm giving her the leeway because I've known way too many people who have gotten sick, and I personally have been sick while people had expectations of me and treated me completely like shit for being sick. Of course, I still did what they were asking, despite the fact that I was sick. She typed, "I have no idea why I received this hostile message from you." So you get to see she starts off with the stuff that makes it so that I'm a bad person for typing anything at all, and then accuses it of being hostility towards her. This has got nothing to do with what I've typed. This has got everything to do with her insecurities and her assumptions. And this is the part where she's going downhill horribly quick. You gotta be smarter than this.
Big dog, do you have a cigarette for her?
I don't. I'm willing to run down and get a pack.
Could you? Please?
Yes, sir.
Here.
Yes, sir. Bring back the change too. Is it right if I grab one or two before I bring them back? Is it right if I grab one or two of them? What kind of cigarettes do you want? I usually get Lucky Strike full flavor 100. Yes, ma'am. I do. One moment. Yes, ma'am. Uh, would you prefer chapstick or triple antibiotic ointment? Both would be cool. All right. Mm. Mm. All right, this chapstick cut open. I said I got medical supplies. We used to run a kitchen camp in Colorado. You never know when something was going to happen. The kitchen camp? I went to the beach. I just put lotion on my hands and then I was like this. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I'll be back shortly with your cigarettes. They'll be opened and packed, and I'll take 2 out. That's all right. One beer? Oh, I went down already. Drink them already? All right. Uh, anyway, you get to see the part where it started going downhill. That's the beginning of it. Obviously, I'm being sent on there, and I hurt like a son of a bitch, and I should probably say no. But also, I'm aware of the environment that I'm in, and it's probably a good idea to go get them. Anyway, now many of you might say, well, she's got every right to be, and she woke up, she's sick. Well, she does, sure. She doesn't have any excuse to take it out on me, though. She typed, I have no idea why I received this hostile message from you. I told you I took some medicine to fall asleep. That's why I didn't arrange a time. Well, she did read the message. She didn't arrange a time. She did postpone it until today. Well, yesterday, now that it's 1:13 a.m. I thought it wasn't meant as hostile. It was meant as an explanation of my current situation, something to be aware of. Well, since I'm going out public, I'm going to do what I usually do when I go out in public. I'm going to waste SD card space just in case somebody assaults me or threatens to kill me again. I gotta end this video to go run an errand. Good to be rid of you. Thank you for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's keeper too, and no victim left behind.